fourth day of Sravana Utsava.
Third day, fourth day. Yeah. Okay.
So today we have speakers like His Holiness Bhakti Vigna Vinashak Nrsimha Swami Maharaj, and 12 o'clock to 1:30 Hari Leela Prabhu, and evening session 5:30 to 7 Atul Krishna Prabhu will be there, and the last Krishnananda Prabhu will be there. So hope you are all are enjoying, and online who are watching, hearing, they are also getting the benefit. Shravan Utsav's transformation of heart. So now we welcome His Holiness Maharaj by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Maharaj will be speaking on manifestation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. So we'll be hearing attentively. Hare Krishna. Translations are there. Russia 95, Chinese 90, and Bengali 92. Biranabe.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari.
Gopiyana Vallabha Giridharadhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari.
Gopiyana Vallabha Giridharadhari.
Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana.
Yashodanandana Bhaja Janaranjana.
Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana.
Bhaja Janaranjana.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Praja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nittai Gaur Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribrajak Acharya Ashtatara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki, Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Prem Shri Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopina Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki, Vrindavan Mayapur Dham Ki, Ganga Mae Yamuna Mae Ki, Tosi Maharani Bhakti Devi Ki, Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Ki. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru, Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pricharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda. So we're speaking on some of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appears in this Kali Yuga for the purpose of establishing the Yuga Dharma, which is Harinam Sankirtan. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed his Grihastha Lila. He had what we'd call Vijayavilas, his pastimes of education here in Mayapur Dham. In other words, he grew up here. He spent the first 24 years of his manifest pastimes here in Mayapur. And then at the age of 24, he took sannyas, and taking sannyas meant not going home. So he went to quite 18 years residing in Jagannath Puri, 6 years traveling around India. And wherever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, he was delivering the message of Krishna consciousness. Just as he instructed people to chant the holy name of Krishna, to worship Krishna, and to read the books about Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did that himself also. He chanted the holy name. He had his own japamala, and that's why he was convinced to take a servant with him when he went traveling. Initially, he was inclined to just travel alone, but he was told that you need to chant, somebody has to help you carry your few possessions which you have. It will be better if somebody goes with you. So it's noted there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also chanting the holy name, regular amounts, and he was also hearing the books. He would regularly, when he was in Jagannath Puri, he would go to visit Gadadhar Pandit, because Gadadhar Pandit had been they'd grown up together here in Mayapur. Gadadhar's home was very near to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's home, and they studied together. So Gadadhar was very deeply attached to the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Chaitanya gave Gadadhar the deity of Tota Gopinath to worship. So those of you who have been to Jagannath Puri, you will see the temple of Tota Gopinath is there, not far away from the temple of Lord Jagannath. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would regularly go and visit Gadadhar Pandit there, and Gadadhar would read the Srimad Bhagavatam to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was especially fond of hearing the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. And he liked to hear from the mouth of Gadadhar Pandit. And worship, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told people, chant the holy name of Krishna. He was doing it. He told them, read the books about Krishna. He was doing it. He told them, worship Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go and see the deity of Lord Jagannath every day. Every day he would make a point to go and see Lord Jagannath. So going to see the deities is also like worshipping the deity, because when we go to see the deity, we will also offer obeisances, we will offer prayers, we may do parikrama around the deities. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching all the devotees by his own example. When I spoke a couple of days back, I talked about Shivananda Sen, how he was a very intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was involved in many pastimes. And I described how he had witnessed the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in all three different ways: directly, as empowered incarnations, and by his appearance. Although he was in some other place, he could appear from far away. So Shivananda Sen had witnessed these things. Shivananda Sen was a grihasta, and he had 3 sons, and sometimes when he would go to Jagannath Puri, he would bring with him his wife, and sometimes his sons would also come. So it's mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita how Lord Chaitanya would enjoy pastimes with the sons of Shivananda Sen. The oldest son was named Chaitanya Das. So when Lord Chaitanya met the oldest son of Shivananda Sen for the first time, he asked him, "What's your name?" So the little boy said, "Chaitanya Das." And so when Lord Chaitanya heard that Shivananda Sen had given this name to his eldest son, he asked him, he said, "What kind of name is this you have given your son?" And Shivananda Sen simply replied, "This was the name which came from my heart. I've just simply given the name which appeared in my heart." And at one point, Shivananda Sen's wife had conceived the 3rd child. So when Lord Chaitanya heard that Shivananda Sen's wife was expecting a child, he told Shivananda Sen that you can name this next son, you name next son Puri Das. Lord Chaitanya was living in Jagannath Puri, so he said, you give your child this name Puri Das. So when the child was born, Shivananda Sen gave him the name Paramananda. And however, Lord Chaitanya always jokingly called the child as Puri Das. So one pastime is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which shows how much Lord Chaitanya loved all of the devotees who were in his Sangha, in the association of devotees. Shivananda Sen had taken on so much service for the pleasure of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he would personally bring all the devotees there. And Chaitanya Charitamrita also describes to us how Shivananda Sen, on one year when they were going to Jagannath Puri, a dog began to follow them. And Shivananda Sen noticed how this dog is attached to the devotees. He's following the devotees. So at one point the devotees had to cross a river and to get on the boat. The boatman didn't want the dog to come on. So Shivananda Sen personally paid the boatman to allow the dog to come on the boat. And every day the devotees would give the dog some prasadam. However, it happened at one point, because it take a couple of weeks for the devotees to get to Jagannath Puri, walking from Mayapur. You know, women and everybody, they wouldn't walk very fast. It would take good time. So one day, Shivananda Sen was involved talking to the customs at the border, and he had to spend time with them. And when he came back, he asked, did you give the dog prasadam? And nobody had taken care to give the dog prasadam. And they looked everywhere, they couldn't find the dog. The dog had disappeared. And when Shivananda Sen saw that the dog had gone away because he had not fed it, he also fasted. He took the responsibility for taking care of the dog, not only the people, but even the dog which followed them. He wanted to make sure they're taken care of. And when the dog didn't get prasadam, he also fasted. He thought, this is not good. This dog definitely had some devotional feelings. is so strongly attached to the devotees, we should give prasadam. So it's important for us, when we are here in the Dham and we go on parikrama, that we also give prasadam to the dogs. Prabhupada said, nobody should go hungry in Mayapur. Within, was it 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers of the temple, no one should go hungry. So even during this last year with the COVID virus and so much lockdown, the devotees have taken on the responsibility to go out and to distribute prasadam. And many people who are having financial difficulty, there may be no job, no means to earn any living because of the lockdown. So our temple is providing prasadam. We're arranging for people to be able to come and get prasadam. So this is the mood of devotee. Devotees must be very caring. So Shivananda Sen showed this care even for the dog. Of course, it happened that later on they came to Jagannath Puri, and when they entered to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were overjoyed to see that the dog, the same dog who had been following them, was already there with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was throwing pieces of coconut meat, the coconut meat from the inside of the coconut. He was throwing it to the dog, and the dog was taking it. And the dog was chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. The dog was chanting in the dog's way. He was chanting the holy name. And the next day, we didn't see the dog anymore. Everybody understood this dog is already liberated. So this is some of the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees, that even the animals, four-legged animals, low species like the dogs, they can all get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and be delivered. So Shivananda Sen came to Jagannath Puri after the young child was born, Puri Das, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu jokingly called him Puri Das, but his name was also Paramananda. And later on, he grew up to be a very wonderful devotee, and he wrote many books. Right? What was his name? Kavi Karnapur. Yeah, Kavi Karnapur. He wrote wonderful books like Ananda Vrindavan Champu and Gaura Gonadesh Dipika, which mentions the identities of all the different personalities in Chaitanya Lila, who they are in Krishna Lila. And then he wrote also a wonderful drama, Chaitanya Chandradaya Nataka, which describes very wonderfully the meetings between Rupa Goswami and Lord Chaitanya. Different wonderful events, all described in a beautiful, dramatic way. So Kavi Karnapur wrote so many wonderful books, but he was just a little child in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it's described that as a small child, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him his toe to suck on. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put his toe in the little boy's mouth. He could suck on Lord Chaitanya's lotus toe. So when the boy was about seven years old, he came there and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested him, chant the holy name, Puri Das, chant the holy name. And the little child just looked. He wouldn't chant the holy name. And Shivananda Sen, his father, was there, and his father was saying, chant, chant. Mahaprabhu is telling you to chant. Chant the holy name. But the little boy was just very silent. He wouldn't chant. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remarked, he said, I have given the chanting of the holy name all over the planet. Even the living entities which don't move, non-moving living entities like the trees, have also chanted the holy name. But I cannot get this little boy to chant the holy name. However, Swarup Damodar was there, and Swarup Damodar is the secretary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his pastimes in Jagannath Puri. And Swarup Damodar remarked to Lord Chaitanya, he said, no, my Lord, you have already initiated him into the chanting of the holy name. The child is remembering the holy name and he is chanting in his mind. So he just doesn't want to reveal the mantra to everyone, but he's chanting in his mind. So then it happened, a few days later, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and the little boy was there. So Lord Chaitanya said, Puridas, Puridas, recite, recite, tell us something. And the little boy recited a beautiful verse in Sanskrit describing the glory and the beauty of Lord Krishna. And everyone who heard the child speak, they were all amazed because the child composed the verse himself. It wasn't a verse from scripture. The child just immediately composed the verse, although he was only 7 years old and uneducated. He hadn't begun any education, but he was able to compose a beautiful verse describing the glories of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So how is it possible? It's only possible by the unlimited mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enjoyed these wonderful pastimes with young people. Another great devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Advaita Acharya. Now, Advaita Acharya, he was responsible for the Lord's appearance in this world. He called the Lord to come. And Advaita Acharya himself is Vishnu Tattva. He is not an ordinary jiva, but he is Vishnu Tattva, and he is Sadashiva and Mahavishnu. Now, Advaita Acharya had 6 sons, and of his 6 sons, 3 of them were very wonderful devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The other three sons, they went astray. Although they were brought up to be devotees, they went astray and they became influenced by smarter philosophy. It may be that they were influenced by their own father, because at one point their own father was preaching impersonal philosophy. He was preaching the teachings of Yoga Vasishta, because Advaita Acharya wanted to make Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu angry at him. Lord Chaitanya would always respect Advaita Acharya because Advaita Acharya was so much senior to him by age. So whenever Lord Chaitanya would meet Advaita, he would bow down to him. And Advaita, he understood Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be the Supreme Lord. He wanted to respect Lord Chaitanya. So Advaita had a plan that he will make Lord Chaitanya angry. So he began to preach the teachings of Yoga Vasishta. Yoga Vasishta philosophy glorifies impersonal liberation. and Brahman. It only speaks about the Brahman, and that the goal of life is to get Sayuja Mukti and to merge with the impersonal. So Advaita began preaching like this. And so when news came, then Lord Chaitanya rushed over to Shantipur, and he threw Advaita on the ground and beat him physically. And this was very pleasing to Advaita Acharya. But it was it was a great anxiety for Advaita Acharya's wife. Mother Sita, the wife of Advaita Acharya, she came running and she pleaded to Lord Chaitanya, "No, please don't kill my husband." So Lord Chaitanya told Advaita Acharya that you brought me here, you called me to come. He said, I was sleeping, resting in the spiritual sky, and your loud calling brought me here. And now you're preaching this impersonal Mayavadi nonsense. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu corrected Advaita Acharya, and Advaita Acharya was very pleased to see Lord Chaitanya get so angry at him. So as I said, Advaita Acharya was so much senior to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So after Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, he had come there to Shantipur. Lord Nityananda had tricked him actually. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas over in Katha, and after taking his sannyas, he immediately wanted to go to Vrindavan. But Lord Nityananda tricked him. Lord Nityananda brought him instead to Shantipur, in the direction of Shantipur anyway. And so anyway, Lord Nityananda arranged like this. He wanted Mother Sachi to come, and she could see her son as a sannyasi, and he wanted to call all the other devotees, because only a few devotees knew that Lord Chaitanya was taking sannyas. Only a few devotees could go with him to Katha. So Lord Nityananda wanted that all the other devotees would have the opportunity to come there and see him as a sannyasi. Because before, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as he said, Vidya Vilas, he was a teacher, and he had beautiful long hair and wore beautiful nice clothes, but then he became a sannyasi, shaved his head, and just a simple dress of the sannyasi, simple cloth. So Lord Chaitanya wanted, Lord Nityananda wanted the devotees that they would have this opportunity to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi. So Chaitanya Charitamrita describes to us how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there in Shantipur. So somebody had asked Advaita Acharya that who did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu take sannyas from? And Advaita Acharya replied, oh, the guru of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Keshava Bharati. He gave him sannyas. And when the son of Advaita Acharya, the youngest son of Advaita Acharya, the oldest son was called Achyutananda, or sometimes they just say Achyuta. So he was a little boy, running naked, not even dressed, because he's just a small boy, so just leave him to run around. And when he heard that Bharati, Keshava Bharati is the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the little boy said, if you talk like this, it will ruin the world. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Lord of the three worlds. And if you say that Keshava Bharati is the spiritual master of him, then this talk will ruin the world. Advaita Acharya was very happy to hear his little boy speak like this. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed his affection for this little boy. He picked him up and put put him on his lap, and he spoke to him and said, Achyuta, Advaita Acharya is your father. He is also my father. So you and I are brothers. This is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was relating with the people, with the young children. Even though he's a sannyasi, he was enjoying intimate association with them and showing affection for them. This little boy, Achyutananda, grew up to also be a very staunch devotee, and he went to live in Jagannath Puri, and he stayed there in Jagannath Puri. Every year he would take part in the Rath Yatra, and he would chant and dance, and became a very wonderful devotee. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving so much love and affection to everyone, taking care of everybody, concerned for their welfare. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to also travel as a sannyasi. He also, after taking sannyas, he went to Jagannath Puri, but he did not simply stay there. He went to travel. He went all around India, and he chose first of all to go to South India. And when he was in South India, he went to Sri Rangam, because in Trichinopoli, near to Trichinopoli, is the temple of Lord Ranganath, and that place is called Sri Rangam. And it's the biggest Vaishnava temple. Of all the Vaishnava temples, it's considered the biggest. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there, visited the temple, and at that time, one of the pujaris there, Venkatabhata, he invited Lord Chaitanya to come to his home to take lunch. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a Mayavadi, he had taken sannyas in the line of Shankaracharya. He was not Mayavadi, but he'd taken sannyas in that line. And usually they don't cook, but people will invite, brahmanas will invite them to their home for meals. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there to take his food, and at that time Venkatabhata told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that now is the Chaturmasya, it has just begun. So why don't you stay here with us for 4 months and give us your association, and you can tell us all the topics of Lord Krishna. We will be happy to hear from you, Krishna Katha. Of course, the Venkatabhata was a Sri Vaishnava. The Sri Vaishnavas considered Lord Narayan to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they consider Lord Krishna to be one of his incarnations. So Venkatabhata gave Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu this opportunity to remain there in Sri Rangam. And while Lord Chaitanya was staying there, his family members would regularly associate with Lord Chaitanya. So one of the persons was the brother of Venkatabhata, and he became very attracted to the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he eventually left his home and he came to live in Vrindavan. That was Prabodhananda Saraswati. Prabodhananda Saraswati. He wrote also many books, beautiful Sanskrit poetry. He became a very great devotee. So he came from Lord Chaitanya's visit there at Sri Rangam. But there was another boy, a young child, the son of Venkatabhata, named Gopal Bhattacharya. And he was giving some personal service to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sometimes bringing his food, sometimes washing his cloth, and hearing from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this Gopal Bhatta, he eventually also came to Vrindavan. And he came and stayed in Vrindavan with Rupa and Sanatan. And he established the temple which we know in Vrindavan as Radha Raman temple. The Radha Raman deity is self-manifested from the Shalagram Shila. And so this was Gopal Bhatta. He became the devotee through the direct mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had gone there and stayed at their home for Chaturmas for 4 months, gave a lot of association, but he got results. He made wonderful devotees, Prabodhananda Saraswati and Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Both came from his visit there in Sri Rangam. Right? When we go out for preaching, there should be some result. There should be some, propaganda work. You get results. People start to take interest. They start to take up Krishna consciousness. If we just go around everywhere and nothing ever happens and nobody ever becomes a devotee, then it's not very good. Prabhupada used to want to know, how many books have you distributed? How many devotees have you made? How many properties have you acquired? Prabhupada encouraged us that there should be some result in our preaching work, that we can show something. Like, these are the new devotees. We distributed all these books. We're having this new temple. We opened the new temple. So, these things meant something. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, he was getting results. When he was traveling around preaching, it was not just traveling, but he was also making devotees. Another wonderful devotee he made came when he went to Benares. You can understand Benares. Those of you who have been to Benares, you know what like is Benares. It is not a very pious kind of place. People are mostly worshippers of Lord Shiva there. And it's a place of Mayavadis and Buddhists. It's not a very good place for devotees. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had told this one person, Tapana Mishra, that you go to Benares. What happened was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as a householder, had gone traveling to do some teaching work. And he'd gone to Bangladesh. And when he was in Bangladesh, he had met this one man named Tapana Mishra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's family name is also Mishra, right? His father's name, Jagannath Mishra. So, Tapan Mishra, not a relative, but same name, Brahmin. So, Tapana Mishra came to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at this time was a grihasta, he had come there and he asked him for advice. He said, I've been reading many scriptures and I don't know what is the real goal of life. But I've been told somehow in a dream that you can guide me. So he had come to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to take instruction. At this time, Chaitanya is known as Nimai Pandit. And Nimai Pandit told the man, he said, yes, told him, chanting the holy name and worshipping Krishna. So the man was very attracted to Lord Chaitanya and he thought, can I come to Mayapur? I want to be with you in Mayapur. But Lord Chaitanya told him, no, don't come to Mayapur, you go to Benares and I will meet you there in Benares. Now at this time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was still a householder. He hadn't taken sannyas yet. But he told the man, you go to Benares, I will meet you in Benares. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu indicates by this that he was aware that in the future he's going to take sannyas, he's going to renounce, and he's going to go to visit these different places. So Tapana Mishra had done that. He had taken this instruction. He left Bangladesh and he came to Benares and stayed there in Benares. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had taken sannyas and he's going to Vrindavan. On his way to Vrindavan, he goes to Benares. And when he's there in Benares, he stays in the home of Chandrasekhar Acharya, and he would take his food in the home of Tapana Mishra. So Tapana Mishra had one son named Raghunath Bhattacharya. So this son of Tapana Mishra was also serving Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Benares twice, on his way to Vrindavan, and then after coming from Vrindavan again, came back and stayed there. At that time he stayed a little longer because he instructed Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami had come there in Benares and he had instructed him for 2 months in the science of devotional service. So it was at this time the son of Tapana Mishra, Raghunath was giving service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Again, simple service, bring the food, maybe wash clothes sometimes, accompany Chaitanya Mahaprabhu if he wants to go somewhere. And the child became very attached to Lord Chaitanya. When he grew up a little bit, he also went to see Lord Chaitanya, because Lord Chaitanya, we said he was traveling around India for 6 years, and then after that, then 18 years were spent residing in Jagannath Puri. So the child, Tapana Mishra's son, had grown up, and he wants to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is just staying in Jagannath Puri. So he came there to Jagannath Puri. He came there and he resided with Lord Chaitanya for 8 months in Jagannath Puri. And of course Lord Chaitanya gave him a lot of mercy, had a lot of association with him. And he encouraged him, you go home and stay with your parents until they leave this world. And then after they leave this world, then you can go to Vrindavan and stay with Rupa and Sanatan. So Raghunath Bhatta, he had been staying with Lord Chaitanya for 8 months, and he was a very wonderful devotee. He could sing beautifully, and he could also cook very nice. So the Vaishnava arts, these are Vaishnava qualities, to sing and play instruments, and sing beautiful songs glorifying Krishna, and to be able to cook also, to prepare nice foodstuffs to offer to Lord Krishna. It's a Vaishnava art. So Raghunath Bhatta was very expert in this. He would do this kind of service. So he stayed for 8 months in Jagannath Puri and then went back to Benares to be with his parents, elderly parents. After his elderly parents left the world, he went to Vrindavan. And he stayed there in Vrindavan, became a Goswami. And Lord Chaitanya had instructed him. So the devotees were very happy to hear about all the association he had with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Raghunath was such a wonderful devotee that when he would recite Srimad Bhagavatam, he could recite each and every sloka in 3 or 4 different tunes, different melodies, different meters. So that was a wonderful art which he had acquired, to be able to recite all the different slokas of Srimad Bhagavatam in different meters, different melodies, for the pleasure of the devotees. So everyone loved him. And he had wonderful qualities. He would never hear any criticism of anyone. If anybody would talk any prajalpa, he would just go away. He would not stay to hear. And he would never hear anybody criticized. So he shows us how to be a good devotee, what kind of qualities we should try to acquire. To hear about Lord Krishna and not to hear prajalpa, and never to hear any criticism of anyone. So Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis, again, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, going there, meeting the young boy, giving him mercy and inspiring him to take up Krishna consciousness in a full-time manner. This is preaching how these people became devotees. By Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, they all came to Krishna consciousness. Just like we told how Rupa and Sanatan, that Rupa and Sanatan described themselves, that they were saying, we are more sinful than Jagai and Madhai. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted them and made them Goswamis and sent them to Vrindavan to excavate the pastimes of Lord Krishna and to establish beautiful temples for the worship of Lord Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his preaching brought wonderful results. But at the same time, he is very human. He's not just in the world that, oh, I'm a big sannyasi, don't come near me and don't bother me. He is very much concerned with everyone. One very nice pastime which took place with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came when the devotees from Sri Khanda came to visit Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are different villages around here. Nowadays, you know, everything is industrialized and urbanized. People have all gone to live in Calcutta and Delhi and Bombay. But in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, the people lived in the villages. And the villages were not poverty-stricken, as we may think today. But the villages was where all the wealth is. Because it's in the villages where people are doing the agriculture and they're producing the grains and they have the cows. And so the people were rich. And Prabhupada also describes how in the times of Lord Krishna, Nanda Maharaj and all the Brijbasi people, they were not poor people. They were very wealthy people because they had cows. And from cows they had all the milk products, the ghee and the cheese and the yogurt, as well as milk. And they had the bulls to plow the fields and produce grains. So the people in the villages were not poor as we think today. But in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, they were very wealthy. So the different villages was where the activities were, and there were many great devotees, just like we said, Sri Khanda was one village. And when they would all go to Jagannath Puri for Rath Yatra, each village had their own kirtan team. So there were 7 different kirtan teams around the chariot of Lord Jagannath. And each village would have their own kirtan. And they'd have the people from the village there. They'd have somebody leading and somebody else dancing and other people, madanga players, and then the kartal players. In this way, the kirtan was very nicely organized. So Srikanda was one such village. They came there to visit Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there were wonderful devotees from Srikanda. Their names were, there was Narahari Sakur, Mukunda Sakar, and Raghunandan Thakur. So Raghunandan was the son of Mukunda. And Mukunda and Narahari, they were brothers. And they were all devotees. They'd all come for Rath Yatra. Narahari, actually, he was a spiritual master, and he was the guru of Lochan Das Thakur. Lochan Das, who wrote the Chaitanya Mangal, the book which we call Chaitanya Mangal. And we sing also that song, Bhaja Hari Mana, Lochan Das. So Lochan Das, he was a disciple of this Narahari Sakar, and he was the brother of Mukunda, and Mukunda had a son named Raghunandan. So this Raghunandan was a very, very special devotee. He's called Raghunandan Thakur. Jayapataka Swami told us one time how they wanted to call Prabhupada Thakur. But Prabhupada said, no, that's not. He said, I haven't done anything much. He said, that's for people who are very, very special. Very, very great devotees. They are called Thakur. They get the title Thakur. He said, it's not for me. So this Raghunandan, he got the title Thakur. As a young child, he had been told by his father to make the offering to the deity. His family had a Gopinath deity. And the father had to go away because Father Mukunda, he was a physician. He was a Vaidya. The whole family were Vaidyas. You know, it's kind of like a family profession. Just like we know in China, you often find people from the one family, they're all doctors. So similarly in India, you have people like that the family are all doctors, they're all Vaidyas. Ayurvedic doctors, not Western medicine, but Ayurvedic. So Mukunda was a physician, or a Vaidya, or a doctor, if you like. And he used to give consultation to even the Muslim ruler. He would be called to give consultation to the Muslim ruler. So it's described that on one occasion when he was with the Muslim ruler, that they brought a fan, a peacock fan, to fan the Muslim ruler. And when just seeing the peacock feather, Mukunda became affected and his ecstatic love for Krishna awakened, and he fell down and he collapsed on the ground. And the Mohammedan ruler was shocked that, oh, what's wrong? And the Mohammedan ruler got down from his throne and he came over to find out, are you all right? What happened? And Mukunda tried to make an excuse. He said, oh, it's some kind of disease I have, like epilepsy. That sometimes, you know, if you have epilepsy, sometimes when there's a sound or something, you can just fall down unconscious. If you're an epileptic, then you're not supposed to drive because it's very dangerous, because any time you can just fall, you can collapse unconscious. So Mukunda tried to explain like this, but the Mohammedan ruler was more intelligent and he could understand that it's not exactly like that. It's something else. It may be something due to this peacock feather. Anyway, Mukunda had to go away for one day, so he told his son, you do the offering today. So the little boy, Raghunandan, was left alone, and he made everything ready and brought the plate in and offered it to the deity. And then he asked the deity, Gopinath, you please eat. And the little boy, Raghunandan, became a bit worried because nothing was happening. The deity was not eating. So he became worried, and he began to really coerce, to force the deity. Gopinath, you have to eat. Gopinath, please eat. If you don't eat, my father will be angry with me. You please eat. So, finally, the deity ate. Because the child, Raghunandan, was very, very pure child, very great devotee. And he conquered Krishna by his pure love. Right? We say Krishna is Ajita, he's never conquered, but he is conquered by the pure love of his devotees. So he became conquered by the love of Raghunandan, and he ate the offering. So that night, when Mukunda came home, he asked his son, did you make the offering? So Raghunandan said, yes, made the offering, father. So then his father said, bring me some prasadam, let me taste what you offered. But the boy said, there's no prasadam. Deity ate everything. There's nothing left. Deity ate everything. So Mukunda was surprised because he knew this Raghunandan does not tell lies. He's a very good boy. He always speaks the truth. So he was puzzled. He thought it's unusual because, you know, you offer to the deity, usually there'll be prasad. So he said, anyway, another time, told Raghunandan, make the offering again, Raghunandan, you make the offering again. And this time Mukunda was hiding and he was watching. And he saw Raghunandan go in this time. The offering was laddu. And Raghunandan went in with the laddu to offer to Krishna. And he saw Krishna take a bite from the laddu. And when Krishna took a bite from the laddu, Mukunda came out. He saw how Krishna had been eating the laddu. The half-eaten laddu was still in the hand of the deity. This deity is still worshipped today. You can go there to Srikanda. The deity of Gopinath is there. The deity which ate the offering of Raghunandan. So Mukunda was very, very happy, you know, that, wow, this is wonderful. Just imagine that my son is such a wonderful devotee that he could get Lord Krishna to eat the offering. So it happened that these three persons were all there with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Mukunda, he said, Mukunda, are you the son of Raghunandan, or is Raghunandan your son? This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's humor. You see, he's joking. Of course, he knows that actually Mukunda is the seminal father of Raghunandan. But he asked Mukunda, he said, are you the son of Raghunandan, or is Raghunandan your son? And Mukunda replied to Lord Chaitanya, he said, yes. He said, I am the son of Raghunandan. Because of Raghunandan, I have increased my own faith in Lord Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, this is correct. That one who gives you Krishna, he should be considered your father, your spiritual father, your senior, because he has given you that love for Krishna. So you think of that person like your spiritual father. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave them each instruction. He told them what they should do. He told Raghunandan, he said, your business is to serve the deity. Because you're very much in love with the deity loves you, so your duty is to serve the deity. And he told Mukunda, your duty is continue as a doctor. You give service to people, your patients come to you, give service to them, cure their diseases, and in this way you can maintain the family. And he told Narahari, your service is to go with the devotees. You go and travel and go for preaching. So it seems like they all had different services, but they're all equal. There's no difference. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was just engaging everyone according to their individual natures. Some person's nature is to be with the deities, some person's nature is to work, and some person's also is preacher. But it's all service to Krishna. Whatever you do, it's in the service of Krishna. So that is Krishna consciousness. It's not that you have to give up work. Sometimes people think, I have to give up my job, I have to become full-time devotee. This is not required. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught, Stane stita shruti gatantan van manobir ye prayaso jita jitopi asitais trilokyam. You simply stay in whatever position you are in. And in this way, you can conquer Lord Krishna. You don't have to change anything. Just stay in whatever situation you're in and hear about Krishna in the association of devotees. And in this way, conquer Krishna. Because Krishna is conquered by that loving attitude, by that mood of giving service. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had so many wonderful servants surrounding him. We talked about Shivananda Sen. A little bit we spoke about Advaita Acharya. Another wonderful servant was Murari Gupta. Murari Gupta, he was also a Vaidya. He was also a doctor. And his home, of course, is not very far away from our own Mayapur temple. And they've established the deities of Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman there nowadays. Because initially, Murari Gupta, he was a devotee of Lord Ramachandra. And Murari Gupta had witnessed the childhood Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a small child, he would come, and sometimes Murari Gupta would just touch Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just touch the hand of the child, and he could feel, some very special mystical potency was possessed by the child. He could understand this child is not ordinary. He's a very, very special child. So Murari Gupta kept a diary of all the different events which took place in the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Particularly his Leela here in Mayapur, because Murari Gupta, as a resident here in Mayapur, he witnessed all of the childhood pastimes. So he kept his diary, and that diary was very important for all the people who wrote biographies about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. People like Krishnadas Kaviraj and Lochan Das Thakur and Vrindavan Das Thakur, they could all take advantage of the diaries of Murari Gupta because he'd recorded all of the events. He'd seen everything. So he did a very wonderful service by keeping these diaries. And he also enjoyed very intimate association with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It said Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sometimes would come and want something for indigestion. So Murari Gupta could heal people's material disease as well as their spiritual diseases. Murari Gupta, he had witnessed all of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lila, and he understood that at some point the Lord is going to leave this world. Because he knew how Lord Rama had appeared and then disappeared, and Lord Krishna had appeared and disappeared. So he understood that at some point Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also going to leave this world. So Murari Gupta was thinking that he would commit suicide. He thought, I don't want to be here when the Lord leaves the world. I want to leave before he goes. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is omniscient. He knows everything. He knew the mind of Murari Gupta. So he came to Murari Gupta and he told Murari Gupta, you give that knife to me. I know you've got this knife and I know what you're planning to do. So you give that knife to me. I don't want you to keep it. In this way, Murari Gupta was defeated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Another pastime which took place a little bit relating to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lila was that Shivananda Sen had brought Lord Chaitanya to his home to take food, and he'd arranged for very opulent prasadam. He'd purchased all the most opulent prasadam from the Jagannath Puri temple. And Lord Chaitanya wanted to please his devotee, so he accepted it. But after eating it, then he felt, heavy, that, oh, it's difficult to digest everything. So it happened that Shivananda Sen, his son, Chaitanya Das, he was very intelligent. And he arranged that the next day, he also invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to lunch, and he arranged a very special lunch. He arranged things like lime and ginger and yogurt, all very nice things to ease the digestion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he saw how the boy had arranged all these things like ginger and lime and yogurt, and they thought, this boy is very intelligent. And Mahaprabhu took the food there and he was able to relieve his indigestion. So we see so many wonderful devotees coming to Krishna consciousness just by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We were hearing about the importance of his humility, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so humble and so loving and so caring, even for the children. He wants to make sure they're also getting Krishna consciousness. There was an incident which took place that when they were coming to Jagannath Puri one time, Shivananda Sen his party they were all waiting because it took some time to deal with the officials at one border crossing. And Lord Nityananda became a little angry. In fact, he had to wait so long that when Shivananda Sen came and offered his obeisances, Lord Nityananda kicked him on the head. So when Lord Nityananda kicked him on the head, he told him that, I'm hungry, you've kept me waiting so long, you didn't feed me so long, we haven't had anything to eat, we're out here. waiting, nowhere to stay, you're not taking care of us. So Lord Shivananda Sen immediately took care, arranged everything, and then he personally thanked Lord Nityananda that, thank you so much for you've given me the dust from your lotus feet on my head. I feel so fortunate to be blessed with the dust of your lotus feet, that I know that even demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they would hanker to get the dust from your lotus feet, and you've kindly placed it on my head. So that today is my greatest fortune. Thank you so much. And when Lord Nityananda heard him talk like that, Lord Nityananda embraced him. However, there were some other people, there were some nephews there of Shivananda Sen, and they were disturbed when they saw Lord Nityananda seemingly become angry due to his hunger. And they left the party and they went ahead to Jagannath Puri. And when Lord Chaitanya saw them, Lord Chaitanya could understand something is wrong with these two boys. Something has happened. So Lord Chaitanya arranged, take care of them, give them prasadam, take care of them. And when all the other devotees came, then Lord Chaitanya, he told his servant, he said, make sure that Shivananda Sen and his family members, every day, they should be given the remnants of my prasadam. You know, when Prabhupada was here, usually Prabhupada's prasadam would be taken, well, sannyasis especially, they would get first, right? You have to give the sannyasis first. But Lord Chaitanya was so caring that he said, my remnants, every day, it should go to Shivananda Sen's wife and family. They have to get my remnants. So these are just some examples from the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to show us all about his wonderful mercy and his loving and caring for all the devotees. Let us all try to develop the same kind of love and appreciation for each other, just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had for all of his devotees. So thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Gauranga!